This man is my grandfather, Alibay. He was a jeweler, a master craftsman with his own workshop. In that photo, my father, who also lived a long life, passing away at 93. These are the items left from my grandfather and father. One of the most precious is the sharpening wheel, my grandfather's wheel. As a child, I was fascinated by it, always turning it. He used it to sharpen tools, polish bracelets, prepare his instruments. Even now, my grandchildren come and want to spin it. There is something magnetic about it, something that draws you in. These bracelets and other pieces I later collected from the village, asking elders if they had items made by my grandfather. Now all of this forms my grandfather's corner. Kazakh jewelry art is a heritage both ancient and profound. Gold and silver pieces crafted by master hands continue to showcase the skill and refined taste of our ancestors. Berik Alibay follows in the footsteps of his forefathers, treating this legacy not as mere craft but as great art passed down through generations. As he recalls, from childhood he clung to his grandfather's sharpening wheel, absorbing every gesture, every lesson. His grandfather, known in the village as Usta Jakim, was celebrated as a man with golden hands. Today, Berik carries that tradition forward, preserving the national treasure as living art. My grandfather was a respected man in the village. As a child, I clung to his sharpening wheel and hammer, learning by his side. I would pound aluminum into bracelets while he showed me how it was done. I didn't run off to play with my friends. I stayed with him, learning through play. Art and craftsmanship ran in Berik's blood. The gift of his lineage placed not only tools in his hands but also a paintbrush. His drawings amazed neighbors, earning him the nickname the Artist Boy. Later at school, I became known for my wall newspapers and illustrations. After graduation, I entered the Almaty Art College. Initially, I dreamed of painting grand canvases, but fate intervened when Master Duisen Suydaliyev sat beside me and asked, "Which department will you choose?" I replied that I wanted to be a painter. The teacher suggested the department of metal decoration and jewelry. At that moment, memories of my grandfather's wheel and bracelets came rushing back. My path shifted, and since 1982, I have devoted myself to jewelry art.
Содан мен сол металды көркемдеу өңдеу бөліміне тапсырып, содан бері, сонау 82 жылдан бері осы зергерлікпен айланысып келе жатырмын десем, өтірік болмас негізі. Ең алғаш жасаған бұйымдарым көз алдында әкемнің жалғыз.
I still remember the very first piece I made. My father's only sister, Kulsin, came to visit us when I was a boy. I went into my grandfather's workshop, hammered out a bracelet from aluminum and gave it to her. He had no ornament, no stones, just a simple rounded bracelet, the kind people in our region wore. That moment is still vivid in my memory. From that simple rounded bracelet began a journey that would take Berik Alibay across the globe. Today, his jewelry, which highlights the national code of Kazakh culture, is recognized on the world stage. Thanks to his craft, he has traveled widely from America to Japan and neighboring countries, always promoting Kazakh heritage. Representing Kazakhstan at international art festivals and craft exhibitions, Berik takes pride in showing that national artistry stands among the finest in the world. In our jewelry art, it's not just about size or beauty. Every ornament carries meaning. Take the kuragi ring, the otao ring, or the kustum suk ring. Each has its own story. These are not simply decorations, they hold significance. When we explain this to audiences, they are amazed. They say, "What a great nation to have such traditions." We tell them this heritage goes back to the 17th, 18th, and 19th centuries, when jewelry art flourished. Later in the 20th century, during Soviet times, it declined. But since independence, jewelry art has grown again. From the 1990s onward, young masters have emerged, and today we can proudly present our craft at exhibitions anywhere in the world. Even in difficult times, jewelers found ways to continue their work, searching for metals and materials to keep creating. Demand for ornaments never disappeared, and in the early years of independence, despite economic hardship, jewelry art entered a new creative phase. Limited resources forced jewelers to innovate, and out of that struggle came fresh approaches and renewed energy.
In
the 1990s, we worked with whatever materials we could find: nickel, silver, copper. Only later, when we had a little more money, we began working with silver. Today, I use silver exclusively. Gold is only for plating or accenting. For Kazakhs, silver is sacred. There is even a saying, "Silver heals, gold adorns." People know that silver has natural properties. It can kill hundreds of microbes. That's why it has always been valued. The jeweler still uses stones he collected decades ago. His wife Gulnar introduces the dazzling variety, domestic and imported gems, each with its own story and healing qualities.
Agate comes in many forms: black agate, white agate. But the most precious is landscape agate, found in Kazakhstan's Qazaqstan region. Inside the stone, it looks as if tiny plants are embedded, formed from the seabed long ago. This variety exists only here. Of course, agate is found worldwide, but ours is unique. Kazakhstan has an abundance of stones in the south, in Jambul region, everywhere. And then there is turquoise, which Kazakhs call kuktas. In Pavlodar's Maykayan mine, turquoise grows alongside gold. Our turquoise has a distinct color, different from the Iranian variety. Have you noticed the difference in their colors? The colors change depending on the source of the stone, but amongst them, the one that is truly prized is our turquoise, the Kazakh turquoise. Foreign buyers greatly appreciate ours.
Especially when it comes to silver, he also believes in the traditional meanings and taboos people associate with silver. Every piece he makes, he puts his full heart into it. Because beyond beauty, silver carries purity and brings benefits to human health. It is said it strengthens the immune system, cleanses from microbes, improves the heart's function, and even lowers blood pressure. And that's why it's so highly valued. Kazakh tradition also has its own wisdom. Our people never ate food from the hand of someone who wore bracelets but no rings, believing microbes could pass into the food. That's why silver was seen as such a useful, protective material. It's bright, warm to the eye, and easy to work with. For me, that's why I chose to work only with silver. At the start of 2025, Queen Rania of Jordan appeared in public wearing a Kazakh national-style piece of jewelry, a tumar pendant. Photos and videos of her with this amulet sparked wide discussions on social media. What many people didn't realize is that the author of that pendant was none other than the renowned jeweler Berik Alibay, our protagonist today. We asked the master himself about the story behind this special piece. I didn't make that pendant specifically for her, nor did she order it directly from me. People often come and buy my work, and I don't ask them who it's for or where it will end up. So I honestly didn't know it would reach Queen Rania. Later, when journalists saw the photo on her Instagram profile, they noticed the tumor and wondered if anyone could identify it. They contacted the cultural department in Astana, and those officials reached out to me asking, "Can you tell us which tradition this pendant belongs to? Queen Rania is wearing it. Could it be Kazakh?" Of course, I said it's Kazakh, and it's mine. At first, they didn't believe me. The next day, journalists came to see me. I showed them my sketches and the photos I had kept from when I made it. Only then did they accept it. That's the story behind the pendant now worn by the Queen of Jordan. Today, when everyone is turning their creations into brands, it feels only natural that jewelry, a craft demanding deep labor and constant exploration, should become part of Kazakhstan's brand as well. Yet the country has no shortage of jewelers, each with their own signature style. Some approach it purely as a business, a source of income, but masters like Berik carry it as ancestral heritage, elevating it not just as a profession but as a national value. Of course, that path is not without its challenges. Turning jewelry into a business is actually very difficult. To make it a business, you need to produce thousands of identical pieces in large batches. That requires multiple molds, specialized equipment, and all of it is very expensive. In my case, every piece is created individually, one by one. That's why the price is higher. It's handmade. But around the world, handwork is what people truly value because it carries the maker's energy and spirit. When something is stamped out by machines, it has no soul, no essence. It doesn't bring joy to people. Berik Alibay, having carried the torch of Kazakh jewelry art for decades, now dreams of passing this heritage on to the next generation. He doesn't see it merely as a craft, but as a legacy that should live on. In this, his family plays a vital role. His wife Gulnar has been instrumental in adapting their work to modern demands, helping bring his creations to the market. And his youngest son, Ziyad, has already taken up the father's art, continuing the tradition with his own achievements. It was my father's wish that someone after him would carry on this art. I grew up surrounded by it, and my teacher has always been my father. I never went to a special college for metalwork like he did. I learned everything at home, directly from him. I've always loved bringing life back to things that were fading away. Whatever it is, if it's handmade, it's art. I enjoy repairing, cleaning, and reviving objects, giving them a second life. Restoration has always been close to my heart.
бір не болса да, бір дүние болса да, бір өнер ғой ол, адам қолынан шыққан. Жөндейтін жөндеп, тазалайтын тазалап, жалпы затқа жан бітіру, қайта қалпына келтіру жақсы көремін.
Ziyad is the one continuing my jewelry art. For the past 2 or 3 years, he has been working as a restorer at the Presidential Center. I believe he will carry this tradition forward and develop it further. All of my children are connected to art in some way. My eldest daughter, Anel, is also an artist. She works with textiles and felt, and she teaches as well. From childhood, the jeweler was known as an artist, and it seems that his creative gift has now been passed on to his grandchild as well. So, what did you draw here? What's in the picture? Ah, winter looks like the tundra. Did you mean Yakutia? You captured it beautifully. You know, the foundation of all crafts is drawing. Anyone who can draw can master any kind of handcraft, because it all begins with the ability to sketch and see shapes. All this dedication and respect for history can be traced back to Berik Alibay's upbringing. From a young age, he collected artifacts he found among the people, not just gathering them, but making it his mission to share and showcase them. In 2017, when he heard that many tourists were beginning to visit Kazakhstan, he transformed his own home into a museum. Back in 2017, when we were preparing for the expo, there was a lot of promotion about millions of tourists coming. That's why I cleared out my house and turned it into a museum to welcome visitors. At that time, Astana lacked ethnographic villages and private cultural spaces. There were only official museums. So this idea was born, to make my own home into a museum. Since 2017, it has been serving the public. Many tourists come, especially from neighboring Russia, and during holidays, the numbers are very high. Here in Astana, tourist agencies know about us well. Their guides bring groups of 30, 40 people, introduce them, and we hold master classes right here. The jeweler Berik Alibay treats Kazakh art not as a business, but as a gift of nature. Seeking lessons from the past, he weaves national motives into each piece he makes. This devotion has carried his name far beyond Kazakhstan, earning recognition even in distant countries. Here I can proudly show the Dombura of Abay Kunanbayuli and also the Dombura of Jambil Jabayuli. Both are originals. The master jeweler, who followed inspiration rather than chasing profit, found that his craft naturally turned into a source of livelihood. As the Kazakh saying goes, a jeweler's eye is diamond, his hand is gold. Berik Alibay's life path became a wide avenue of art and spirituality. Today, more than 250 national ornaments have come from his hands. Even in personal milestones, such as his daughter's wedding, he drew upon cultural heritage, crafting a bridal saukele with the same artistry, as if stringing pearls of tradition into a crown of values. When my wife told me our daughter would be getting married the following year, I began making this saukele. It took me a whole year to finish, and when we gave her away, she wore it. That was 15 years ago now. This saukele has become one of our family's most treasured heirlooms. It cannot be priced. It will never be sold. It is made of silver, gilded with gold, adorned with pearls and turquoise stones. And it was crafted in the purest national style, without distortion or deviation. The jeweler sees his life's work not only as art, but as a legacy to be preserved. He considers it his duty to record his journey on paper and pass it down to future generations. Recently, on the occasion of his 60th birthday, Berik Alibay published a comprehensive book about his craft and heritage. At the same time, President Kassym-Jomart Tokayev visited the Creative Industries Development Fund's Cultural Center, inaugurating new projects. During this event, the renowned jeweler, artist, restorer, and collector Berik Alibay introduced the exhibition hall and jewelry workshop together with his students and presented his book as a gift to the head of state. This book is about the works I've created throughout my life and the collections I've gathered. It tells my story, how I began, and what I've done up to now. It's not a big written volume, more like a photo album. I published it 2 years ago for my 60th anniversary. Just recently, I had the honor of presenting this book to the president. We met, and he wished me success in my work. He asked about my family, and I told him how we are all engaged in this jewelry craft and business together. He listened very attentively and wished blessings and prosperity for my family and our work. That gave me great inspiration.
Соған мен өте қанаттанып отырмын.